What'd they get? Memory Erosion. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, that player mills 2 cards. This is a mill deck. Demonic Tutor makes me nervous. Mesmeric Orb. More mill.
Today on Commander Replay, we take our first look at Chiss Goria and see if we can overcome the Sir Mill deck. Next on Commander Replay. Hey guys, there's 2 great ways to support the channel. All links are in the description below.
Welcome back, everyone. Playing some Chiss Goria Forge Tyrant today. I'm excited for this one. And Phyrexia 1 just came out, and it came out with some of the commander cards, which never happens. So, super excited to be playing this today. Let's take a look at this opener. Oh god, there's no colored mana. Oh, but if there was, oh, we'd be on Ignite the Future. I think we got to mulligan this. Yeah, this is fine. Ancient Tomb into quick burnish chart gets us lots of lands. Valakut Exploration. Yeah, okay. Okay. Yeah, we'll go ahead and keep Hedron Crab for opponent. Oh boy. I don't know that we're super prepared for mill. Maybe it's self-mill. I'm not really sure. Also, it's a Xur deck. I haven't seen a Xur deck at a casual table in a while. And to be fair, this will not be the most casual of games. This game it'll be kind of in the middle. I wouldn't say this build is completely high power, but I wouldn't really call it mid power either. I do think it has potential to be pretty threatening kind of early. I mean, probably by turn 6, things are going to look pretty real. And if you don't answer the deck, I mean, by turn 7, turn 8, probably talking about killing some people. So anyway, we draw into a Shatter Skull Smashing. We'll try to hang on to that. Are we going for the turn 1 Ancient Tomb? Let's go for the red mana first, just in case. Then I'm thinking like next turn Ancient Tomb into Valakut Exploration, because then we get the land. Maybe we'll go. I'm thinking about doing that way. I'm thinking going Valakut first, although maybe that's not the best way to do it. Yeah, because you kind of want the mana to be able to play the things. Yeah, maybe we'll go Burnish Heart first then. Impulse Draw is a little awkward until you have some mana to your name. So yeah, I think Burnish Heart's going to be a better play, even though, you know, we'd be exiling some stuff, and that's always cool, but I just don't think it's worth it. I think we're better off getting the lands. Let's take a read of our commander. It's 9 mana for a 5/4 with affinity for artifacts, flying, and haste. Whenever it attacks, exile the top 5 cards of your library. You may cast an artifact spell from among them this turn. If you do, it has affinity for artifacts. Yeah. That's, affinity shows up twice on this card. That has a lot of affinity. I did not build this deck to its full affinity extreme. You can go things like Jeweled Lotus and zero cost rocks and stuff like that. I did not do that. I added a couple things. So as far as low drops, the only 0 drop is this Welding Jar. Obviously Mana Crypt if you're in a spikier setting. We haven't been running that on the channel. Got a Soul Ring, of course. Mana Vault does seem very good to get this thing in nice and quick. Thran Dynamo seems really good. It's not exactly fast mana, but Thran Dynamo is going to be insane in this deck. I mean, it's fantastic in almost every deck, even better in this one. So a couple things to get there quickly. Also, like Iron Crag Feet. I know everyone's going to go hard on the artifacts, but like Mana Geyser, Iron Crag Feet, Seething Song, Geosurge, that type of stuff will get you there quickly too. That's a Frog Tosser Banneret coming in. Yeah, there's one you don't see a ton of. Goblins and Rogues cost 1 less. Opponent got themselves a Signet, so they got a little ramp going over there. Yeah, it's got haste. It's going to come over in our direction. 7 Deadly realized he just kept a hand with no colored mana. That is not good. And I'll tell you what, it always seems like there's one person that gets stuck when we play games of Magic Online, which is vastly different to Paper, where I feel like people's decks are a little bit more consistent. And I think part of that is the effort that goes into building a Paper deck, and the fact that, like, if you bring your deck to Magic Night and it sucks, you kind of have to sit there for a while, like, either waiting to draw cards or, like, hoping for something good to happen. And then you remember for the next time, you're like, oh, maybe I should run more card draw or removal or whatever it is, but because it's so easy and quick to put decks together in Magic Online, I think people tend to skimp on things a little bit. And, you know, you're at the mercy of Magic Online a little bit, but I think people also take unnecessary risks with, like, land count and ramp count and stuff like that. But that is just me. There's landfall, we're getting milled. It's not great. We have some recursion in the deck. That was one of them. Was excited to try that one out. Never ran this card before. Thought Vessel down and Embercleave. Well, like I said, there's like 2 or 3 ways to get it back. I cut Trash for Treasure, even though I kind of wanted it. But I did put a Goblin Welder in. We've got Duretti. And also, what's the big one? Scrap Mastery. Xur coming in. See if anyone wants to answer it. I don't think we have anything for it. How much do we need for this? X, huh? Yeah, we're not close to that. Hordling Outburst. What's opponent playing? Oh, Garna Bloodfist of Keld, you say? Yeah, okay. See what's happening, perhaps with a goblin theme? Wheel of Misfortune could be handy at some point, but not for right now. Play the Hainware Battlements. Yeah, I guess we're going to hold this thing up. I was hoping to just kind of tap out and pass, but... Ooh, maybe Scroll Rack is a card you want for this deck, because we have this Platinum Empyrean in hand, and, like, it's not the easiest thing to cast. Notably, it only gives that artifact you cast with its ability affinity. So, like, maybe Scroll Rack is a thing to think about with this deck. Ooh, that's a Cradle. Hate Cradles so much. Glissa coming in. All right. Well, it seems they've worked their way out of that no-colored mana problem. What's this thing do? Glissa Sunslayer. 3/3, first strike, death touch. When it deals combat damage to a player, choose one. You draw a card and lose a life. Destroy target enchantment. Or remove up to 3 counters from target permanent. That's a lot of different effects. That is a toolbox if I've ever seen one. Yeah, a lot of utility right there. The enchantment mode might be real helpful against this Zerg. Let's see what they're going to get. Imprison in the Moon. Uh-oh. On the Glissa. Wow. Wants no part of the Glissa. Huh. Maybe seeing the repeatable enchantment removal. They're a green deck, so, like, reasonable chance. I mean, there should be something in that deck. There should be more than one thing in that deck that removes enchantments, honestly. Hopefully they remember to pack some of it, but, you know. It's not like hitting a red deck with Imprison in the Moon when there's, like, literal 2 cards that deal with it. There's a few colorless options, but they're all... Either they blow up the entire board, which isn't always what you want, or they're very inefficient mana-wise. Ugh, propaganda. Gross. It'd be really good against the tokens over here. What's this thing say? Goblin Matron. Yep. Don't be Dockside, don't be Dockside, don't be Dockside. Oh god, Dockside's gonna be insane in this game. There's a Zur and us. Skirk Prospector... Also very powerful. Not... You know what? If I gotta lose to a Skirk Prospector... I'll lose to a Skirk Prospector and not a Dockside Extortionist. I can appreciate that. No attacks. How about that? Yeah, crack the Burnish Chart. Get 2 mountains. That's Duretti. It's interesting. We're going to want that to get that Ember Cleave at some point. I don't think it's the time for Duretti yet. There's a lot of creatures out there, so that's a thing to think about. I think we want to get the Volakut Exploration, though. What's our follow-up? We'll be on 4 mana. Ugh. Yeah, there's just... I don't think there's any way that Duretti survives, though. So, I mean, I guess it's Volakut Exploration. Play a land, hope we hit something we can cast. There's the Exile. Welding Jar, how about that? Yeah, look at that free value right there. Nice. Anything else? No, we've got 4 mana, but yeah, it's just... Welding Jar. I think we're good. Actually, just double check. How much is this thing? 7? Oh, yeah, we don't have 7. Yeah, I think that's it for now. Kind of an awkward turn. Didn't spend all of our mana. But we have, like, weird late-gamey stuff. Ugin's Nexus. Ugin Nexus with the Duretti is ridiculous. That's potentially a game-winning play, or at least, like, probably kills 2 players kind of play. There's a Krosan Grip, so they brought what they needed. Coming prepared. Also, importantly, that Krosan Grip not hitting one of our things. Love it. It's been a while since I've talked about it, so I'll bring it up again. But, like... Even dodging 1 or 2 pieces of spot removal in a game is like a pretty big deal. If you're the one getting hit with them, it is so much worse than being the person who doesn't get hit with it. It's like, it is often a very big tempo loss. In this case, they're doing okay because it's kind of a free thing off Zur, but, you know, still losing a little bit of value there. Oh, destroy enchantment, huh? Well, they probably go for the propaganda first because that one's annoying. I don't know that they go for the Volakut. They're just going for their card draw. I'd probably shoot that propaganda. I guess they're down to 2. Yeah, I see what's up. At 2, ooh, we can copy that. Yeah, well, they're going to copy it. So they're going to draw 2. All right. See what's up. Yeah, that's kind of cool, actually. You can get a lot of things done. Draw some cards. I love the enchantment removal portion because there's always nasty enchantments that need to get removed in a game like this propaganda. I don't know that I would call this nasty, but it's still going to generate as value, so we'll be in a worse spot for not having it. Even though it's not exactly game-breaking. Zur, on the attack. We only have 2 actual artifacts in play currently. What'd they get? Memory Erosion. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, that player mills 2 cards. This is a mill deck. Demonic Tutor makes me nervous. If they don't cast it, we could wheel. Probably not going to do that, but it's a thing we could do. Mesmeric Orb. More mill. Just posted that mill Calamax game today. You love to see it. Ooh, you know what? With Duretti already in our hand, That's actually pretty good news. Oh, I forgot to put Memory Jar in this deck. Whoops. Meant to do that. Mesmeric Orb! Auto that one. Garna, Bloodfist of Keld, coming in. They mill. And there's some damage out there, and unfortunately, Propaganda still alive. Which means we're probably going to get hit a little bit right here. They spread it around. I think only one coming our way. It's not bad. Yeah, not thrilled about the Glissa deck. What's kind of weird about this turn is that, like, whatever we hit in exile, we don't have a ton of mana left over. We don't have a ton of artifacts in play right now. So I almost wonder, like, if Ugin's Nexus... Actually, are we on 8? If we're on 8, we could just cast this thing. This thing's always fun. Although, I mean, Zur probably does something about this. We got rid of Imprison. There's got to be more of these. Do stuff like that. O-Ring. Yeah, O-Ring's a card. Yeah, with a removal toolbox like that with Zur, I don't think you want to fly too close to the sun. Try to play things a little bit cool. Opponent's going to sack some stuff to... We doing damage? They're shooting us down a little bit. It's not the best. Legion War Boss is a good magic card. 3 Mesmeric Orb triggers. Kokoro, a Chroma's Memorial, Cloud Key. Oh, yeah. Okay, I like some of those. Didn't hit the land, so I think we're playing this thing. Yeah, we'll pay the life. Landfall. What do we get? Karlach. I'd like to get that into play. How much mana do we have? 3. 8. Exactly enough to go Cloud Key and Karlach. Memory Erosion's going to get us for 2. Losing our Armillary Sphere and a Solemn. Cast the Cloud Key. Choosing Artifact. So we went on another setup turn. Now things are getting a little hairy on the board. But as long as we don't get blasted too hard, we can do some real damage next turn. Opponent milling a lot. 7 Deadly Poise for a big turn here. We'll finish on our opponents, by the way. In the middle is Kana piloting Zur the Enchanter. Looks like they're doing a toolbox mill kind of thing, which is cool little take on Zur. Haven't seen that one before. Nice to see something fresh with a commander this old that's kind of been, you know, a solved type commander. So that's cool. And then finally, we've got Illegal Xeno piloting Garna Bloodfist of Keld. I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to build this deck for Xeno. That's on my to-do list. Crap. Don't tell him. Pono me attack. 3-3 over to Xeno. Do you take and let him blow up an enchantment? I probably would. I'd be less thrilled if they went for a doubled card draw, but nope, going for the card draw. Doubling up the card draw. There it is. Yeah, I mean, like, it sucks, but I think you gotta shoot that propaganda. Like, what good is gonna come out of that staying in play? Like, there's quite a bit of damage happening right here, and just like, if you shoot that propaganda, they're gonna start losing a lot of life. And because of that, they're gonna have to play differently, and that's kind of a big deal. Oh man, if we even draw Scrap Mastery, oh, that'd be insane. With what's going on, that would be incredible. There is a funny world in which we Sculpting Steel the Mesmeric Orb. Exploration. Ooh, maybe we Ugin's Nexus this turn. Because if we Ugin's Nexus this... Yeah, if our stuff holds up, I think we think about the Ugin's Nexus play this turn. Even though we won't have our commander in. We have a way to sacrifice it cheaper than Duretti? Not yet. Manglehorn. I mean, that's almost certainly going to be the Mesmeric Orb. Yep, Mesmeric Orb down. What's funny about Mesmeric Orb is that you can put it in like a random deck. Like, you can put it in a Voltron deck because it almost acts as a protection effect for your other equipment, because it's just like, if it's in play, it has to get shot because it's just so disruptive to what everyone's doing. And given enough time, it will mill you out. Most people don't run Eldrazi in their decks anymore, or things that'll reshuffle. Occasionally some blue decks will have a shuffle wheel, but, you know, if you make them mill all the shuffle wheels, most people just aren't prepared for mill. So, though, you do have to be careful because people do run a lot of reanimation, so they can beat you if you're not exiling the graveyard. But yeah, Mesmeric Orb can mill enough cards at a time that, like, people lose a lot of their decks. And it can be nasty, and it can be very disruptive to what most decks are trying to do. Hedron Crab. What'd they get? Oh, Rhystic Study. Would love to see some of that repeatable enchantment removal. Wart Boggart Ante. Yeah, there's one. Haven't seen in a long time. Cool card. I played Standard back then. Lorwyn is an interesting set. If you look at the way sets are built now and what's in sets, and I mean, even over the past, 5 years or so, maybe even the last 10, Lorwyn is a very unique set within the game. Or block, rather. First, there was, like, in Standard, there was a noticeable power-up into Lorwyn from Time Spiral, which was, like, Time Spiral was very weird. Now, I love the weirdness of Time Spiral, but like, if you're trying to build decks with Time Spiral cards, it's not intuitive what you should be doing with them. It's kind of a strange thing. We're going to block this 1/1. Where Lorwyn was very linear. You would basically pick one of the tribes and kind of go in on one of the tribes. You want one of the elves, play all the elves. You want one of the goblins, play all the goblins, etc. Fairies was the big one, obviously. Kind of made all the other tribes look real bad, which is unfortunate. But I kind of wish fairies was a little less strong and the other tribes were a little stronger in Lorwyn. They got the balance wrong on that big time, and like a lot of it was probably on the hands of Mistbind Click, and I guess it'd be Mistbind Click, Bitter Blossom, and Cryptic Command. Those 3 cards together, and instead, and Thoughtseize. God, disgusting. Yeah, those 4 cards together in Standard, basically Rune Standard. And anyway, we block. But yeah, when you look at like, I don't know, sets going back quite a ways, 10, 15 years, Lorwyn is very unique among the second half of Magic, right? Like the last 15 years or so. Cool stuff. And like, I didn't appreciate it at the time. I wasn't thrilled about it because like it does have that cartoony aspect to it, but I've come to appreciate its place in the game. And also like what it did mechanically, the power up and the tribal synergies, and cards went from kind of being bad to kind of being good in the Lorwyn block. Like you started to see stuff like Kitchen Finks, which was an insane Magic card. There's a Nicker Wellspring. We're getting down there, but we're gonna play the Wellspring. Oh, it only costs 1. Right. Which makes this a mana neutral play on our commander. All the stuff triggers. Iron Crack Feet, no. Oh, that would have been so helpful. Nah, paying for the study. Sure, I'm gonna regret this. Draw a card, we draw a land. Excellent. Works out just the way I wanted it to. Play the land. Landfall. It is a Blackblade Reforged. Also 1 mana. Go ahead and cast the Blackblade Reforged. Things are going to get silly now. Because we have Blackblade Reforged and an Embercleave waiting for us. And that makes people dead, is what that can do. Maybe we just go for the Platinum Empyrean and try to survive here for a turn. How many artifacts do we actually have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4 to cast our commander. We have 7 total mana left. Interesting. Attack and get a trigger? Doesn't seem like the worst idea. Or just get a Platinum Empyrean and kind of chill. I'm going to go Platinum Empyrean and kind of chill. Trying to set up for the Ugin play, but I think we need a little protection, which this will give us. We can do some attacking. Karlach going on the attack. 1 into 7 deadly, which is unfortunate because they're kind of getting beat up here, but again, you got to kill this propaganda. Having one player who basically can't be attacked is an absolute nightmare. I wouldn't say no to a board wipe. An artifact board wipe would be bad. Creature board wipe I'd be fine with. Creatures and enchantments would also be good. Opponent takes the hit. Because of the first strike, I feel okay that we can attack into Xeno here, and either they'll chump block or lose something. Karlach is a really good extra combat, by the way. I bought a bunch around $2, and they're like $5 now. Hasn't even been out that long. Sean, who kind of keeps track on a lot of the prices of stuff, makes a good point that most extra combat spells, the good ones anyway, tend to end up around $10 over some period of time. So now with Karlach, I'm sure there are a lot of these. The print runs for sets now are massive, so it might be a while before it goes from $5 to $10, but if it doesn't get reprinted at any point, maybe 3-4 years down the line, it might get to that price point. Could be longer. Tough to say. But although the thing that kind of got me out of speculating on paper cards is the fact that just because a good card comes out, it does not mean that they won't print something better than that card next month, 3 months, 6 months. Cards have to be incredibly good now to not be surpassed by something else. So that's always a concern. Now I would pick up these just because I'm going to use them. I have a ton of red decks. I've got 15 red decks or something like that. So I always have a place to put a Karlach. But yeah, when you're looking at just speculation, that kind of made me lose my taste for it. Also, again, the print runs for stuff are massive now. That's an overloaded Cyclonic Rift. That does not make me happy. Such a broken card. Life's going to be terrible now. At least it wasn't during our turn where we're going to have to discard. But yeah, that card. Their opponent gets to go 2 turns ahead. Not great. After we spent all that time setting up. Well, yeah, if we try to go too big on our turn, then we just get rifted. So that's a thing. Haven't actually seen a rift in a game in a long time. A lot of people just stop running it because we don't usually play that strong. At least in blue, too. If this were in any other color, it probably wouldn't be as bad, but maybe it would. I don't know. I guess it plays into blue strategy of like blue decks are usually just trying to like sit there and set up some sort of combo, and like a lot of times they don't do all that much in terms of like casting permanents and stuff. So it's just like, I'm going to sit here and try to not bother anyone while I set up this combo. And Cyclonic Rift just makes it much easier to like sit back doing nothing. And I don't know. We lost Savage Beating. That's unfortunate. Yeah, the question now is how do we get all this stuff out of our hand? We just lost so much mana. Hedron Crab. Azure into Xeno. Copy Enchantment. Another Memory Erosion. Oh god, we have to recast everything? Ugh. What's the nastiest artifact in our deck? If we hit a Gauntlet of Power, that's actually not the worst thing. Spine of Isha is helpful to what's going on. What's this one do? Destroy each non-land permanent with mana value X or less. Yeah, that's a pretty good one. Slow, though. I don't know that we have a lot of time for that. Mirror Maid. Oh god, another one. Yep. This is going to be terrible. And a Fellwarstone. Banneret, and a bunch of triggers. Legion War Boss. Mana Geyser off the top would be helpful. 1-1 our way. Slow Bad. Sacrifice an artifact. Make mana. There are worse things. Cast already. Really going to try to find our way into that Spine of Isha. Combustible Gear Hulk. What's Portal to Phyrexia do? Each opponent sacrifices 3 creatures. That's not terrible. Chain Reaction down. Metalwork Colossus. Play Ugin's Nexus. Shadow Spear. Life gain would not be terrible. Used already. What are we bringing back? I think it's Portal to Phyrexia. Sacrifice an artifact. Sacrifice the Ugin's Nexus. Bunch of creatures getting blown up. What's this thing say? At the beginning of Upkeep. Okay. We played that already. We need to discard the hand size. Probably the Empyrean, because that thing's very expensive. Oh, we need to discard 2. I guess we could have played the Welding Jar. I mean, we're not about to Wheel of Misfortune, so... we get to bring a creature back. Let's see what is in the graveyard. This one? No. Elves. Artifacts. You casting in? No, we don't have a ton of those. Just a lot of Mana Dorks. Hedron Crab. Varchild. A lot of Goblins. Krenko. Blood Artist. Gross. Not really tons of creatures floating around this game. So yeah, I mean, I think it's the Dockside Extortionist, because we need mana. Dockside Extortionist, potentially strong enough to overcome a Rift. Oh no, what does opponent have? Crypt Incursion. Seriously? Wow. That is annoying. Wait. Oh, creatures, right. Did it not work? Why didn't that work? Oh, because he targeted Xeno. Huh. Well, there's some luck. How about that? All right. Getting lucky. Maybe there's one of the life? You gotta stop this Dockside, though. Our commander's gonna be, like, free. There's a mountain. I don't know that we need the Follow-Cut thing. So we need to get them dead in the least amount of card casts possible. Which is actually probably something like Commander Blackblade Karlach. Yeah, that would get them. That should kill them. Okay. We have a plan. Cast our commander for 3. That's pretty good. Pretty good. So Dockside's going to be... I mean, Dockside's already insanely busted. It's going to be even more busted in this deck. Oh, I think I just saw Scrap Mastery. Nope, that's Savage Beating. Never mind. Not paying. Yeah, we'll just play the mountain. Ooh, Ignite the Future in the graveyard. Could be handy at some point. What are we discarding? Play Blackblade Reforged. It's 44 cards. We're going to mill 6 every time we cast something. Yeah, I'm really not trying to go too wild here. Yeah, I think we just got to go. Because, like, we can protect it with the Welding Jar, but it's just like... I think we just got to go minimum number of cards. Got to try to avoid some free spells. Equip the Blackblade Reforged. Cast this Karlach. How much is on here? 14? Yeah. We can kill them. Kana says, I think I die now. He says, what a punt. Yeah, that was a pretty big punt on his part. The play was pretty clear to me. But maybe we salute that punt because now we get to see this commander in action where I'm not entirely sure that we would have if that Dockside didn't happen. Karlach, into play. Yeah, let's do some attacking. Oh, we gotta pay. Gross. It's gonna eat up all of our treasures. Into Kana. Pay 2. You know who's probably good in this deck? The 5-mana dragon there that makes treasures. God, one of those things like $22 or something still. Brutal. I hate when a card like comes out, is expensive, and never gets cheap at any point. It's kind of annoying. We can cast something. What can we cast? Meteor Golem is a wonderful card. This turn, okay, it doesn't give it flash or anything, so... Oh god, we're exiling more stuff from our library. Our library's down to 27. Eek. Yeah, we need them out of this game. Need them out of this game. There's one big punch. Back to combat. Do it again. Paying 2 more. Rough. Trigger it again. Sadly, the rest of those cards will go into exile. Okay. Soul Ring is interesting. Down they go! 28 commander damage. Okay, now that they're out of the game, we can actually cast spells. That's nice. We're down to 22 cards in library. We'll still want to be very careful. I think we can go, like, get Soul Ring with Affinity. It exiles the other ones. It leaves the Meteor Golem. I don't think we can get to that, can we? We can. Wow. How much is the Cloud Key? Still 3. I mean, Temple Bell is in the war. Opponents do have more cards than us. That is something to think about. But we've got value, which is cool. Yeah, value here. Ignite the future in our grave. This thing, this thing. Yeah, I don't think we need card draw super bad. Let's get a Meteor Golem. Yeah. I guess we just use the Soul Ring. Yeah, I think we can hang on to our treasure mana. And shoot this. Was it non-land? It's non-land. Well, I guess we're just shooting a Soul Ring then. I thought we could shoot lands with it. I was definitely going to shoot the Cradle. If there's a card that's going to beat us, it's probably this one. One floating. Yeah, I don't want to burn the treasure. Oh, we forgot to do this guy. Let's. I guess just the Wellspring. Although I guess the Wellspring is good sack fodder. Well, there's a land. I can live with that. A land that takes more cards out of our library is what that is. We're now in a commanding position in the game. Still very soft to a board wipe. Probably almost like even dead to a board wipe. Oh, maybe not. Well, if they get creatures and artifacts, sure. We got this portal to Phyrexia, which could do some work. Opponent says we'll go to 0 cards in hand in 2 turns. Let's see what opponent's got for us. With all the stuff that the Zur had go... Oh, that's a Manglehorn. Well, yeah, probably got to hit this thing, which I'm more than happy to regenerate with... Yeah, they're gonna shoot the Black Later Forge. That's also a good one, but we'll regenerate it. Welding Jar, coming in handy. You know, I should probably put Welding Jar in my Voltron decks. It's just, like, helpful. The only problem with Voltron decks is that until you get, like, certain things in play, your card draw tends to be limited. Like, once you get your Mask of Memory, life's not so bad once you get your Fire and Ice, but before that, Welding Jar can be a little bit of a low-impact card, but definitely helpful for certain situations, though. I mean, really good for a deck like this, but... I think the play this turn is just bring back that Akroma's Memorial, because Akroma's Memorial, kind of awesome. Also got a Wormcoil Engine, and a Phyrexian Trinus form. Yeah, we've got things we can do this turn. Most of our deck is in the graveyard. Oh, I forgot about Metalwork Colossus. What do we need to do? Sacrifice 2 artifacts. Graveyard to hand. Oh, 11 mana, though. We don't have, what is it, non-creature artifacts, which we have. Oh, that's a big one. Let's see if we can find more treasure somewhere. Oh, that's a Damnation. Okay. So, creatures getting blued up. Dockside, not going to be nearly as good this time. That might give us time to get the Metalwork Colossus, is what that might do. Kind of wish we had the, thingy, though. We could go... We'll go back to the command zone. We could put it in the grave, but... we got other stuff I want to pull out of the grave. I don't know what we can do. Wormcoil gives you plenty of things to sacrifice. Something to think about. Love the swamp, by the way. Portal to Phyrexia. Anything good in here? Manglehorn? Meh. Platinum Empyrean is cool. When it dies, make 3. Yeah, let's get the Triniform. Have we seen that Scrap Mastery yet? Because that Scrap Mastery could be ridiculous. Liquid Metal Coating. I mean, we're already flirting with Disaster here, so, like, why not? Let's just get this Volakut Exploration in. Play the Spine Rock Knoll. Go Landfall on the bottom. Looking for a Scrap Mastery. Goblin Welder is a card. Let's get that Goblin Welder. That's, like, pretty good for how many cards are in our graveyard. What we put under here? We put a... Ooh, there's the Spine of Isha. Found it. So now we cast the Spine of Isha. Shoot the Cradle, I guess. Sacrifice an artifact. Bring a thing back. What do we bring it back? Chroma's Memorial? Chroma's Memorial is so good. Platinum Empyreon's, like, not a bad idea either, just so we don't get got by something, but I feel okay. We'll go greedy. Go unsafe. Yeah, let's get a Chroma's Memorial. A Chroma's Memorial is still such a good Magic card. Like, it's one that you don't see quite as much as you used to, but it's still as impactful as ever. Creatures have gotten better, so when all your creatures become insane, they become mini Achromas, basically. It wins games. A lot. A lot. Spine of Isha! Back to the hand. Can we get this Cloud Key in? How are we looking on our commander? 4 for our commander, which we do not have. So I guess we just play the Cloud Key. We'll sacrifice the treasure. Been trying to get to that one. Artifact. Go to combat. 7 Deadly's pretty low on life, and they're playing green. I guess Vandal Blast is a problem too, but both colors have artifact removal. It's not great. about Portal to Phyrexia, though? Did I say Gate to Phyrexia earlier? That's a black card. Cool card, though. Yeah, this thing's pretty good. What's the price of these? Haven't even looked. Should probably pick up a couple. Opponent's down to 7. Pass like that. Yep, thank God that Dockside Extortionist got us past the Cyclonic Rift, because there's a lot of ways in which opponent probably could have won off that Cyclonic Rift, namely exiling our Dockside, because I just don't know that anyone else has like all that much going on after that, and like we probably all just get milled to death with the amount of cards that are being cast with all the, was it triple memory erosion? I'll tell you what, though, that was a cool take on Zer. I can appreciate that. Oh, God, no. No, not Timeless Witness. Hate that card. Always lose to these. We've been milling all game. They're going to have everything they want. What are they getting back? Witherbloom Apprentice. Okay. At least they're a little short on mana. Oh, if they even hit us with one of those combos. Will not be thrilled. Their colored mana's really light. Ooh, Strip Mine on our Spine Rock Knoll. Not going to get to that Goblin Welder. Yeah, just going to shoot down all of our lands. Okay. Maybe not thrilled about the Cradle play. Putting it in Xeno's hand, see if they can try to do something against us, which it's a red deck and we're at 15. There's ways to lose. Direct damage is a concern. Price of Progress would be bad news for us. Garna back to play. Really wanted to cast this Blood Mist. I have a bunch of these in foil that I've been wanting to use, I don't know, since I started playing Aurelia or something. And this is a decent card, except it gets outclassed by really good cards. Like Duelist Heritage was kind of the big one in Boros. Obviously, you don't have as many choices for Double Strike and Mono Red. And for certain mono, like for a Mono Red Voltron commander, I could see this being a thing, but the 4 mana has always kind of held it back a little bit. If it were 3, this thing would be beautiful. Yeah, opponent just gets their commander and some tokens. We're going to have a pretty good turn here. Who are we getting back? Maybe Wormcoil Engine for the lifelink? Platinum Imperion's a pretty good one, too. Portal to Phyrexia. Oh, we get Karlak. Karlak probably just ends it. So if we have... Yeah, Karlak will definitely just end it. All right. Get Karlak. I'm going to start running this thing more. Been really happy with this. Thran Dynamo. Good card. How much for our commander? 4. Not bad. Not bad. Equip the Black Blade Reforged. Go to combat. This one into Xeno. This one over here. This one into Xeno. What'd we get? Oh, God. Oh, right. He exiles things from our library. Oh, that's very scary. We need this game to end right here. If it doesn't, we going to be in trouble. That's what he was saying. 2 turns, we deck ourselves. 7 Deadly goes down. Back to combat. And in with everything to Xeno. Oh, God. Another trigger. Down to 7. If he pulled out, what's the free black kill spell? That'd be bad. I guess we have enough damage with the other 2, but... Took almost our entire library to get there, down to 7 cards. Oh my God. Mill decks. Silly, silly mill decks. Yeah, that went pretty well. Dockside Extortionist, it turns out, is a really powerful card. And so much so that it got us through the Cyclonic Rift. Now, opponent made a big punt by not exiling our graveyard. They got greedy and saw all the life that they were going to get from exiling all the goblins. And I can't blame them. That's a mistake that I make at least once in a while. Like, you get greedy looking at one thing, you kind of lose focus on the other thing that, like, is really important. So, stuff like that does happen. But let's take a look at this deck. So, thoughts on the deck. It's a pretty cool ability. What I haven't completely decided yet is, like, how deep on high drops should you go? Honestly, I want to play it a couple more times to really answer that question. A feeling that I'm left with is... should you just make it a Voltron deck? Your commander has flying, it has card advantage. When you put a Black Blade Reforged on it, it's really deadly. So my question is, like, does it make sense to have a bunch of, like, cheap swords around? I don't know, it's tough to say, right? Because this is a lot of mana. At some point, it's not terribly expensive because of the affinity, but you still need to pay for all those equip costs. Red's not great with the free equips. Which is something that I would like to see get straightened out at some point. If red's going to be like the sometimes equipment color, like 1 or 2 free equips in red would be nice. But the question is that better than what we're doing? I'm not sure. So it's really a question of this. Does the deck want to be like super low artifacts, like basically like any competitive affinity list has been over the years? Or do you want to try to get to these bigger things? I'm not sure. This deck definitely wants a scroll rack though. Especially if you're doing the big stuff up here. Scroll rack will be very good for that because like they're not the easiest things to get out of your hand, honestly, so let's get that. My dislike for loot is well documented, but the fact that some of these make treasures, I'd like to see them more before I cut them. I'll tell you what, maybe I don't need this Temple Bell. I feel like card draw is halfway decent. Get to the commander, and commander will find you more cards, which is cool. So anyway, that's the list. Interesting game. Got some decent play out of our opponents. The Xur deck really kind of took off. The rift reset everyone, which is unfortunate. We would have gotten to see a little bit more from the other two had the rift not gotten them so hard. But that Glissa deck, I feel like there's some cool stuff you can do with that. I'd like to see more of that one in the future. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, feel free to comment, like, or subscribe. Thank you for watching.
I want to thank my awesome Patreon supporters. We have one new Patreon supporter in Orion Cobb. Orion, you are awesome. If you want to help support the channel, vote on which decks I play next, or if you want to get some good games of Spell Table, be sure to check out my Patreon, link below.